Good evening. Now you know what time it is. There was a special interview, and you know I gotta cover it. You know how I get down. And it turns out this man has totally got a Jeezy situation, and he cannot leave it alone. Let's go ahead and get it started.
It was like through passing, and I said something to him, and he was just like, with a smile on his face.
I mean, it's just
nothing to me.
It's just insane to me how you could like be that close in proximity to your baby mama, for one, where you see her just grocery shopping on a regular day and you can't say to her. Like,
I mean, really, that's pretty common. I mean, a lot of times when you have people with situations like that, more times than not, one ain't gonna speak to the other. You know, whether it's the dad or the mom starting drama and the dad acting like he don't see it. That's just how it goes. I mean, that's pretty normal in them circumstances. And he already didn't address how he feels about anything dealing with kids or having a kid, and especially of an alleged daughter. We already know his words on that and how he feels about that.
His kid. But yeah.
I mean, I guess that would make sense why he's looking up how to do.
What graduation year is it if you're 34? Right? I mean, but you so old that you can't even lie about being in your 20s. The youngest you could lie about is 34.
Facts. Mid 30s to early 40s. Just off the fact of the taste of the music that he has, there's no way you're not in your mid 30s to early 40s. And the reason why I'm saying that is because people were saying old head when they came to Neptunes and all of that. Yes, anything that came out in the 2000s, when all that whole era, when we talking about when Snoop Dogg and all of them was running it, and Michael Jackson, because you even playing Michael Jackson songs that the normal public wouldn't even know about. Like, they know about the Beat It and all of that and the Bad and the Thriller, but when you start going into actual Michael Jackson albums, that shows how old you are, because the average person don't know those songs. They only know what was international hits. So like I said, it's LL Cool J and all them. That's old head music. I know. He's like, man, no, it ain't yet, bro. It's over 20 years ago. Like, I want to make this very clear. We are currently in 2025, and these songs came out in 2000. There's been 25 years worth of people born in between this time, which means any person born at that time, that will make it over 2 decades old. All right. When we were in the 90s, old head music was in the 70s and 80s. That's what it was. When you look from 90s to 80s, that was considered old head rap when it started switching to gangster rap. And then when it switched to all of that dance rap and all of that and lyric rap coming towards the mid to late 2000s, all of that Snoop Dogg, Eminem, 2000, 1998, Bone Thugs and Harmony, B.I.G. stuff, that was considered old head music. I know it's a small gap, but you got to think, when we talking about 10 years and that was considered old head music, this is 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, we always had respect for it regardless. We still rocked with it. But if you were to compare Rakim in the late 80s to the 90s and compared it to international players in about 10, 15 years, there's a drastic difference. Even if you didn't want to go that far, even if you were to say Rakim to Big Pun. Rakim to Big Pun, we're talking like an 8 to 9 year gap. The significance in the display of how they made their music was completely different. If you were to compare Bone Thugs to like Walk It Out and all of that, which would be 10 years later, and all of that, In My White Tee and Laffy Taffy and all these songs, these are complete drastic differences. So anybody who was rocking with T-Pains and all of that, they weren't doing that. That B.I.G. and Pac and them was considered old head music. They still respected it, but it was considered old head music because, bro, it's been out over a decade. You get what I'm saying? Which means people weren't born yet. You know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and move forward. And I'm sorry about the tangent, man. I'm a huge music fan, if you can't tell. But my whole overall point is, that brother is not, he's not younger than his mid 30s minimum. I believe he's 40, but I'm gonna just say anywhere between that 35 to 40 gap minimum.
He want to house a kid. He want to house a kid and he could barely pay his mortgage or rent or whatever. He don't even have a furnished home and you worried about housing women. Like, come on, bro.
And this is one thing I'm also going to say when I keep going back to this point. If you ain't got your stuff together, man, you really shouldn't even be dealing with women, honestly and truly. Have your stuff together and in order first before you start dealing with anybody, because all you're going to do is bring in drama, not get done what you're supposed to be getting done, slacking, all the extra nonsense. Handle your business. This ain't even just related to him. This is any man out here that's listening. Handle your business first. Do all your grinding and hustling first. Then you can start engaging in extracurricular. And don't be out here being reckless, because if you're out here reckless, it's going to cost you way more than you're going to be willing to pay. Trust me.
I'm sure y'all want to know, but yeah, like I said, I haven't seen him that many times in public. Once at the movies. This was like years ago.
That is so strange to just like constantly run into the same person and just in public.
I ain't gonna lie, that is kind of weird. That is a big ass coincidence. But see, that's also why if you got situations like that, you move, you don't stay near that person. That way you're not gonna wind up interacting, because more times than not, when you wind up dating somebody, y'all are probably gonna frequent the same places because that's probably how you met. You kind of met doing the same things, or you were doing the same things, and you don't necessarily stop doing the same things, and you would happen to do the same things on that schedule. Does that make sense? So I ain't saying you gotta like move states, but it is always best to go to a different city so you're not constantly running into the same people, especially if you know they didn't move.
Well, I'm sure
Shit.
You know, the AV consists of a few different towns, but it's pretty small. So technically,
you see what I'm saying? It ain't that big. So which means any theaters is probably gonna be that theater. Any food places is probably gonna be that food place.
I don't know. And the movies is like, you know, there's only one movie. So if everyone's, you know, being funneled to that one movie, it's you have a greater chance. But
Dale is a black Scott Pilgrim. I don't know much about Scott Pilgrim, but that's funny.
No, I'm not too sure about that reference and how that's related, because on Scott Pilgrim, he had the Asian girlfriend initially, then he met the delivery girl who he kept following around and was borderline stalking, wound up finally talking to her, and then to date her, he had to defeat all of her exes, and when he beat them up, they turned into like change, like he broke their $5 ass and make change, basically. I don't I don't understand that reference. I don't know how that is. Yeah, so I don't know how it's relatable. That had to be explained to me. Maybe I missed something, but nah, I don't get that one.
What you're doing
at your
my gym in Lancaster? You don't live in Lancaster. What the f you doing out here?
Come on, bro. If you gonna do that, you might as well talk to a fool. Why you being with? Oh, so that's probably why they said the Scott Pilgrim. That makes it. I get it now. I'm slow because this fool's over here stalking. He's over here stalking from the distance. And I ain't giving the benefit of the doubt because he claims and he swear up and down he's extremely observative. So you know damn well where you at, and you know damn well who work out there. So you can't even use that as an excuse.
Did he go to that gym beforehand, or that was like your first time ever seeing him there?
First time. I've been going to that gym for 2+ years, and I've never seen him there. I've never seen him there.
Especially near the same times too. Yeah, bro. Go ahead and talk to her, bro. You got something to say to a fool. Go on and have a conversation. Why you ain't got to dance around it, man?
Because that's not going to cut it for you. You look slender. You don't look thick like you think you look. It's just like he definitely. There's no way he would not. Anyone that had some like weight on them could probably take him for sure.
Sweep low, chop low, swing low.
Y'all heard it first, bro. Says Dale could get knocked the fuck out.
No, never. We never humor conversations like this. This is one thing I want to emphasize. A person's size, what they look like. I mean, I get it. I really don't preferably, I always like to stay away from these type of conversations because the reality, for one, he's always ducking pays. Let's just go ahead and keep it real. But you don't, until he gets put in that position to where he's forced to throw hands, you don't really know what his hands are really like. Because sometimes people can avoid a situation because they don't want it to escalate. Because one thing I want to remind people about, because sometimes people take things too far. You know, some people watch it and they watch for entertainment. Man to man, when you get into a confrontation with a man, you can get maimed, you could get paralyzed, you can wind up not walking away with your life, your fingers, you could walk away with a broken bone. There's a lot of things that can happen. So more times than not, if it ain't like a sanctioned fight and stuff like that, you can't gauge what, like, who you can fade up and who you can't, or how you might have it in your mind what you think it may go like, or what you think people might be capable of doing. But in my theory, I'm here to say, it's best to just stay away from those conversations in general, because people be tripping and then they get ideas, and that's just, we don't want to do that.
I definitely think he could. But the only thing I think would be going for Dale is that he has so much rage in his body that's probably one thing that could probably help him.
Oh, I said the same thing. I said he probably got like a decent amount of rage to get him through a fight.
And I also want to clarify as well, this is not Dragon Ball Z or an anime. If you get caught with a kidney shot or somebody chin checks you, you're going down. I was like, let's not forget, if you get, I don't care how much rage you got, if you can't breathe, that rage ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? When somebody takes you down the notch and puts you on your knee, there ain't nothing you can do with that. Like, there's just some things that I don't care how much ambition, how much rage you got. If you choose the right one, they'll put you down in one punch, and they won't even knock you out. A kidney shot will shut you down. You might even be peeing blood. So let's just, I just say this. So if anybody's hearing this and they're like, man, I'm just an angry person, I got so much, there's only two ways that can go. You can get woke up to reality and get yourself hurt thinking you over 9,000, and or you'll mess around and get a weapon or something, go too far and catch 25 to life. Either way, there's no good outcome to it.
Just off pure anger alone.
Oh, I 100% believe that, because, you know, as like mothers, like, you go into a mode where it's like you're superhuman. You see those like people that like lift cars up, to, like, save or something.
I ain't even gonna lie to you, them anomaly situations, like, more times than not, them situations do go left. They don't work out like that. You know, more times than not, you know, we like to factor in that 5%, but, you know, we forget that 95% of the time that ain't the way that it went. Now that 5% is what you saw, so it's kind of what you stick with, but more times than not, it goes bad. Now, there are minor situations where they're not that serious, where adrenaline can get you through it, but adrenaline has limitations, and I'm sticking on it. I'm only saying this because I don't want anybody to ever think they're gonna come over there and Dragon Ball Z themselves out of a situation. It's not gonna go that way. Like, you can do the best you can. If maybe it's something related to like 80 to 100 pounds, one person's having an issue where they're stuck, you can help them with that. If there is a situation where somebody's stuck under something and that thing is 300, you're not lifting it. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna have to get tools, a vehicle, you're gonna have to get something, but there's limits to adrenaline. That's my point.
Shit. Because you went live and you said, where's Dale? So has he not been
he ain't been live.
I know he didn't stream last night.
He didn't stream last night or the night before, and that's very like strange for him, considering his situation and just knowing Dale. Normally when he doesn't go live like that, something outside of his personal life happened.
Most likely. Or, you know, there's also a possibility he just probably didn't feel like it.
And then it's funny that you say that you saw him at the gym the night before.
Okay, yeah, that's a little more than coincidence.
You let life and girls make you better.
Bruh, is that a real picture? And then the second question is, how many times did you take that picture? All right. That's before the taco meat hair and all that.
Damn shame.
He didn't seem like he was like extra stressed or anything. Like, you know.
But that's who
Normally,
he
if you're going
that's who
through
he
something-
is. That's who he is. He's good at acting like everything's okay. He's
Yeah, you definitely do got to give props to him because he do hold a poker face really well. Like you can see through it somewhat, but generally for a lot of the stuff that's taking place, he do kind of stay on course, kind of heavy. So you know you do gotta, yeah, I mean you do gotta give props where due and acknowledge it because a lot of people, we're just gonna keep it 100 all the way here. A lot of people encountering the situations that he built for himself. A lot of people break and wild out and act a fool, cut up, start crying on stream, things like that. And he ain't done it. And I mean, people be, and they be really tested it though, but he still be on it.
if he saw you at the gym and you chewed him out, he's definitely hurting. Like,
Nah, I don't believe so with that. I do believe it's trying to dodge the drama. So if there's some drama where his chat's gonna get lit up due to a situation, I think that's more or less what he's avoiding for. But somebody chewing him out or telling him about himself, nah, bro, come on now. This man ain't worried about none of that.
he's definitely somewhere like Malden about that.
I think he's just like taken back that I would even come up to him.
Yeah.
Like, nobody ever trolls me in real life.
Oh
Okay,
no, your
bitch.
baby mama troll. Hey, we
Next
need that.
time, if I see you in there, I'm gonna turn my camera on.
She said, okay,
So
bitch.
the whole world.
She said, I got your troll.
And I want to be very clear on this point here. That situation about real life trolling and all of that, that's something that they got going on as people who know each other in real life. As a stranger or somebody who's relatively on the internet or always on the internet, do not, I'm gonna be very clear, do not walk down on him and troll him in real life. Don't do that. Leave the internet for the internet. She can get away with it. Now, and I'm saying this because a lot of people, they may be a little irresponsible with their platforms when a lot of people listen to them. That's because they know each other. So if she does that, it's a different situation from a complete stranger or a troll in real life doing it. Don't do that. don't run up on him and try to troll him in real life. Don't do it.
The thing that upsets me the most, and I'm a broken record, like, I told him, and this was last year, I said, please just stop talking about kids, especially female kids. Just stop going there. You don't have to go there. But
He can't help himself.
so I'm like, if you don't give a fuck and you think it's okay to say all this shit, then I'm not going to give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
It was only appropriate. I had to cue that in there. It's not a funny situation, but I just had to.
And if
Right.
I look like a salty bitch,
All right, man. You can't get out of character on the internet. I get it. This fool be tripping, but you know you don't get out of character behind other people acting ignorant because your perception's still your perception. You always gotta handle yourself with class. That's always the best way to handle it. Heck, we all get upset, but you never really rage out. Never go full rage, cause then you just look crazy. You look back like, man, I was tripping. Always be cool. Take it from your boy. Be cool. Because I ain't gonna lie to you. Even when I lose my cool, I feel like a fool as well. Which is why I don't like to do it. Which is why I typically try to not do it. You know, we all people and we'll snap out sometimes, but it's better to snap in private than to snap publicly. You know, get it all out the way. So that way, when you present yourself to the public, it's always with class.
He had it so fucking easy for 10 years. So fucking easy. And now he wants to hate me.
Damn, bro, she just reminded me. I still gotta finish my series. Man, I completely forgot. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. But yeah, he did. Yeah, there's like a whole saga where I'm literally reviewing it. And I mean, it was chance after chance after chance. And he was literally, despite the fact of how you still a semi-failure with no kid there. You know how hard it is to succeed with a kid versus not having one? Like, come on, bro. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, how are you that much of a failure? How are you not further in life? Come on, bro.
As this vicious bitch. And I'm like, okay, if that's what it's going to be, then let me actually be that. Don't give two about my child that has your DNA in it, I'm not gonna give a fuck either. I could really do some, but the thing that holds me back is that if Charlie would ever see it, I couldn't handle that because I have texts.
This is an extremely unfortunate situation. Now, this is, if you're wondering, my biggest takeaway and the biggest amount of advice I can give you from this whole situation is, on both sides, don't be out here just dealing with people, messing around with people just because you find them attractive or just because you want to do it, because there's always consequences and it ain't worth it. At the end of the day, it ain't worth it.
Mm.
And I can show how much of a piece of shit he is.
But nah, we pretty familiar with that.
Yeah, I kind of feel you on that. I honestly feel you on that, like not wanting Charlie to like even see that. But
Yeah, who the fuck
I'm gonna
wants
be-
to see their dad talking about them like that?
I'm gonna be honest for a second. It's the internet.
Go ahead.
I don't think we can really
I know.
avoid that at this point. I think at some point in her life, she'll become privy to it. I think that's unavoidable. Just because children are children, she's gonna grow up and get curious about who her dad might be. And she'll find out. It might not go, it might not. She might be hurting for a while, you know? But I honestly feel like if she's old enough when she does find out, she'll totally understand like that he's just a piece of shit and he was never worth it. That's my hope. I hope
Right.
that she doesn't find out until she's older and could really like digest it and be like, you know, I am hurt that my dad's a piece of shit, but he's a piece of shit. Nothing I can really do about it. My mom loved me. I think the positives far outweigh the negatives. I think when she gets older and she realizes that a bunch of strangers on the internet cared enough to try to help her go to Disneyland, I think that'll far outweigh any negativity that she might have to deal with.
And at least you know there are people who don't co-sign it. Of course, there's people who do, but a majority of us don't. And I'm gonna say majority. I'm giving us benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say a majority of us do not condone it, nor do we co-sign it. And it's unfortunate. You know, if this alleged situation is true, it's very unfortunate. But if you kicked it with your boy this long, I appreciate you hanging with me. Links in the description below like always. And in the meanwhile, I'm out. Have a good one.